All right, you welcome back to P&B morning show right here on Politics and Business Television, reaching live from Abuja. I'm Omike Joseph Matthew. Now, this morning we focus on a significant development in Nigeria's security landscape, as reports indicate that the United States is planning to deploy an additional 200 troops to Nigeria. Now, according to the New York Times, the troops who will join special forces already on ground are expected to train Nigerian forces in the fight against militancy, though they will not participate directly in combat operations. This move follows a confirmation by the commander of the United States African Command, General Doug Anderson, that a team of American experts has already been dispatched to Nigeria. Now, the growing military or cooperation comes amid heightened diplomatic engagement between both countries, particularly after the United States re-designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern over alleged religious persecution, an allegation strongly denied by the Nigerian government. From high-level visits and security talks in Washington to joint counter-terrorism efforts, including recent operations targeting extremist elements, the involving partnership between Abuja and Washington raises important questions about sovereignty, strategy, and the future of Nigeria's fight against insecurity. What does this deeper U.S. involvement mean for Nigeria's security architecture? That's our focus this morning on the P&B Morning Show. I'll be joined this morning via Zoom by a security analyst, a public affairs analyst, will be joining us this morning to discuss this very important program. Once he joins, so we'll let you know about that. Chidi is still in the studio. Chidi, a warm welcome again. And of course, we're looking at the implications of the deployment of U.S. troops to Nigeria.
All right, OJ, like I said earlier on, is a welcome development, and that's my own opinion. However, we need to also look at what's the business implication, because this is more or less a bilateral, relationship between Nigeria and the United States. 200 soldiers to come to assist in training and and equipping what we have here on ground, our armed forces.
Okay. I think we already have our guest on the line. He is, of course, a security analyst and public affairs, commentator as well. We're talking about Stephen Alechenu. Stephen Alechenu, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. A warm welcome to P&B Television Abuja.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning to the guests in the house, in the studio. Good morning to you, the presenter.
Good morning to you. Thank you very, very much. Yes, we are looking at the implications of U.S. Troops in Nigeria. Like you heard in our introduction, the United States of America is ready to send over or about 200 troops to Nigeria to add up to what they already have on ground. So what is your take about this latest developments in our security architecture?
I think it's a welcome development. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian government should be celebrating this kind of intervention, especially the method and the mode at which the intervention is being streamlined. Remember, General Anderson clearly stated that the troops coming to Nigeria are only coming purely for capacity building. They will not be involved in combat operation. That alone is to say to a very large extent that our troops here on ground will be trained to be able to have the capacity to combat these terrorists. So it will be a situation where experts will come and eradicate the terrorists and go, and tomorrow the same issue will resurface, even the more dangerous strain. So I think we should build capacity and just dive into this cooperation to make sure that our military are strengthened for optimal performance in terms of real war experience. I think what we are lacking in this part of the country is for our military and from the defense architecture generally is lack of expertise to fight this kind of guerrilla warfare. So the strategy will be streamlined. So many benefits are attached to it. I think maybe as we go along the line, I can begin to illustrate some of those benefits that will be of advantage for the growth of this country.
All right. All right. I think we'll be talking about the benefits to Nigeria, as it were. But of course, my colleague here in the studio, Chidi, is already saying that the United States cannot do business with you just like that. There must be some benefit to the US itself, and is looking at it from the business perspective. Chidi, that is your own take on it, right?
Well, of course.
Okay.
Of course, OJ. Business, everything, they say there's a saying that goes, there's no free lunch in Freetown.
No free lunch in Freetown.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, do you think that there could be some, some transaction between the US government and Nigeria following this intervention, this military intervention? Do you see, do you sense anything of such?
Well, whatever intervention that might be attached to it is immaterial at this very juncture. We are talking about lives. The government of the day have clearly failed and they have shown incapacity in the protection of our citizens. Okay, if you take record of those that are killed weekly in this country, you will think that we are in a full-blown war, a real full-blown war experience. Nigerians were not killed as much during the Nigerian Civil War as it is now. We have too much story of deaths everywhere. There is no nation right now there is no state right now in Nigeria that is spared from this killing. So if the intervention will come to stop the killing, it should be welcome. And also, what about transactional aspect that they're looking at? Okay, now let me ask you, what do we think that US can gain from us? What is it oil? US oil reserve can sustain Nigeria for more than 100 years. That's their reserve. Is it technology? What do US stand to benefit from? The only thing is, US need, as the head of the unipolar world order right now, they need to expand their tentacles to every continent of the world. And if they have Nigeria, now that they are having serious crisis with the South African government, if they have Nigeria to accept, it will be a boost to have political influence globally. I think that should be the major cardinal benefit. Otherwise, what are we looking at? The Chinese have been here exploring our raw material. Is it the US that sent them? Who is talking about the benefits of what the Chinese people have been doing? Go to everywhere, go to Zamfara, go to Nasarawa, everywhere the Chinese are right there, harnessing our resources, and nobody asked them nothing. And if you trace the root of this insecurity, it's even traceable to this illegal mining. So please, we shouldn't be stressing on US is coming for their peculiar no, it's to save this country, to save you and I, and to make sure Nigerian citizens could sleep without fear of being killed in the night. The people that are being killed haven't committed the offense. They are only victims of wrong circumstances of a failed and parasite state, where people just come overnight, run into people's houses, kill them, burn them, butcher them, and nothing happens. Nobody will be arrested, no traces. Are you not ashamed, Mr. OJ, that you belong to a country where ransom are not paid electronically and cannot be tracked? A country where terrorists will be online, not unrecorded, on live, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, or this other app. They'll be doing live video. Nobody traces to track them. We don't have the capacity to handle this issue. So we should just lay aside our pride, lay aside all those vain pride of there is zero interest. Zero. Nigeria cannot benefit US in any way. It's the US that can benefit. Can you talk about the $1 billion in real assistance, in real aid that is coming to Nigeria, even to the Nigerian military?
Okay. Now,
to the health sector and all of it.
I think OJ, I think my brother, thank you very much for your contributions there. But there are certain areas I think I appreciate, and there's some areas I think I want to also disagree with him. And as much as we are talking about the protection of lives and properties here, which is, key. However, we need to also look at certain things. That he said something. He did say that there's nothing US can benefit from Nigeria. That's not true. Right now, the world is tilting towards, alternative energy. And Nigeria has lithium. We have enough of californium in large quantity, very expensive mineral resources. And this is one of the mineral resources that is highly sought after by these world power countries. And they are in large number in some part of the north. So anybody telling me that Nigeria there's nothing the US can benefit from Nigeria is not true. No matter how much, no matter the amount of foreign reserve that you have, you keep wanting more, because it's a nature thing to want more. Just like a musician once sang that even a particular personality in this country is still looking for money. So people, it's the same thing. It's a global thing. Then secondly, I also want to talk about the issue of the military, our armed forces don't have the capacity. No, we may probably have the capacity, but sometimes we need the political will. We've seen cases where, people tell you, oh, even the last CDS, that when they're about to record some success, somebody will just spoil the whole thing. We have saboteurs, allegedly, in government, making these things not to work.
Okay, so
it's not that we don't have the capacity, but sometimes the political will too. Okay, it's a different thing for you to have money. It's also a different thing for you to know how to give the money out.
Okay, so Stephen, you heard my colleague's argument here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your take on his own stance, trying to counter? Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. You see, we are pretending this country as if everything is okay. That's why I get very uncertain when I begin to hear certain reactions. I'm telling you the truth. We are pretending as if nothing is really at stake. Can you, with all sincerity, have you driven in the streets on the street of Abuja before midnight? Try to take a stroll, take a drive around Abuja between the hours of 12 to 4. You will be so disappointed that anybody can even be kidnapped from Asokoro and taken out of Abuja without any hindrance. The road is as empty as anything. There is zero police in this country, even in the height of this insecurity. But yet, we are talking as though nothing is at stake. This is a country where you wake up to everyday news of kidnapping and killing. Today now, if you are to take record, statistical record of people have been killed just over the night, you'll be shocked. Now, about the interest that is trying to stress, being the economic interest and feeling like the US will benefit from our raw material. Why has the US not come since? Did the raw material just emanated yesterday? China have been exploring all of this raw material. US is not in competition with China. What brought about US intervention now is actually the cry of some of us that the government tries so hard to mute and to bottle to remain silent. It is because of that outcry that made US to feel like this persecution have been going on for too long. It is time to collaborate with this government to give them capacity, if not for anything. If not for anything. Can I tell you one thing? Since from the day that Nigeria got designated as country of particular concern, have you not seen real commitment from our leaders to end this? Even the president is more committed because he knows that a higher than him is now mounting pressure on him. There are certain calls against people in corridor of power that we are not exposed to. Some of those calls are indictive, some are instructive, some is to the position that this killing must stop. And it will stop. So I am not disregarding the economic benefit
and the political will as well. And the political will. Note that.
The benefit to us outweighs whatever we are looking at now.
Okay, Stephen.
But OJ, he didn't highlight that. I want to draw his attention.
Political will?
Yeah, he mentioned something about someone can be kidnapped from Asokoro or whatever and taken out of Abuja. No policing and the rest of them. This is the same country that announcements were made that all the police serving elites. Policemen are protecting footballers, musicians, different kinds of people in this country. And a few months down the line, I can't remember it vividly, the announcement was made that, the IG should withdraw.
The withdrawal of
Yes.
police from VIPs.
Yes.
Whether it has been effective 100%, we don't know at this.
As much as I know, OJ,
we don't know at this point. But quickly, Stephen, now how might this development affect Nigeria's diplomatic relations with other global powers? Because right now, US is in loggerheads, quote unquote, with other global powers, and we need to relate with other global powers, not just the US. How would this really affect that diplomatically?
No, okay. To start with, I did stated at the starting point that US currently is the head of the unipolar world order. What that implies is that US is in charge, in quotes, of world affairs, of politics, of the economy, both military and in every realm. That's just the truth. USSR had their time. The Roman Empire had their time. But now US is in charge. You see, you are talking about a global partnership. Even the Saudi Arabia that we know, who is their greatest ally, is the US. Is the US. Egypt that we know, who is their greatest ally, is the US. These are Islamic countries for Christ. And we are talking about Nigeria. I shouldn't be worried about South Africa or be troubled about China. What has been the benefit that China has brought to us? Even what economic benefit has China brought to us? What military benefit? Not until US began to hammer so hard on this crisis, China did nothing. I shouldn't be worried about our relationship with Iran, Republic of Iran, or should we be worried about our relationship with Russia or with North Korea? I think we are in the best diplomatic relationship. If this relationship is strengthened, I can tell you that we'll be exposed to global military support and diplomatic relationship with not just the US, but all US allies. The entire EU are US allies. Most of the nations in Asia, even most of the prominent nations in Middle East, Australia, most of the nations in Africa, they are all US allies. So I think we stand a broader space to benefit from this relationship. And that's not able to talk about building capacity, intelligence sharing, and all of it. We have too much benefit. I don't think it's a threat at all. Diplomatically, we are good to go.
All right. Now, how about? All right, Stephen. How about the this perception, or other countries will now perceive that Nigeria is now over relying on foreign intervention in trying to resolve its internal security. We are known to be like giant of Africa, the most populous black nation, and today we are now relying on the foreign.
We have also made interventions on African
countries, and at one point made interventions.
Liberia and the rest of them.
Yes, and today
we can't handle our domestic problem.
Reverse is now the case. Don't you think that this perceived nature, this development to bring this perceived nature of saying, Nigeria, come on,
we've lost it.
We've lost it. Yeah.
All right. I want to state categorically that seeking foreign intervention is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. The threat, the security threat we are confronted with right now is a global threat. If you understand very well, this is a trans-border threat. It's not peculiar to Nigeria though. Even though Boko Haram started from here, their nefarious activities not restricted within the territory of Nigeria. They have crossed to Burkina Faso, they've crossed to Niger Republic. They've crossed everywhere, they've caused havoc everywhere. ISWAP, and all manner. You wouldn't be shocked that those providing trading for local Fulani militias might be ISIS or Al Qaeda. So this is a global phenomenon. So I don't think that there is any cause for alarm. But also to make reference to our strength, military strength before now. And it also called for questioning what has happened to us.
Where did we get it
The
wrong?
nation that fought serious war in other countries cannot combat a guerrilla warfare. At times, I begin to imagine what is the land space of some of these places that these guys are hidden. Why can't drone identify where they are and take them out? Why can't we use advanced technology? Why are we so relaxed to feel like, oh, the killing can continue and it's stop? See, let me tell you, the aim of Islamists is not to stop killing until everybody bows to the authority. That's their aim. Everywhere they are. That's what happened in Iran. The current supreme leader of Iran, that was what he did, and he succeeded. And now oppresses everybody. That's their aim. Is to kill, to intimidate, so that people will surrender to them. Even the moderate Muslims are not spared from their radical oppression. So we should ordinarily have the capacity to tame this monster. Remember, General, the late head of state, Jarabacha, said that if insecurity or terrorism kind of exist beyond 24 hours, that the government are involved in it. My brother there in the studio did mention something. He spoke about political will and also saboteurs within our military architecture.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. Very true. A situation where we put the same people that have been killing, sugarcoated them as repentant, and we enroll them into the military. What do you expect? Or what do you expect? So there will always be saboteurs. There have been too many references of where people will be at the war front and enemy confrontation keep pushing. And they'll keep them not to shoot. Not to shoot. That's a suicide mission. It's as good as just go and die. And they keep wasting these guys. We shouldn't be having the kind of casualty we are having from military operation, just casual military operation by people that are not well trained. But yet to keep sustaining it, to keep hearing in numbers. Only 5 have been killed, 20 have been killed. And it's not stopping anytime soon, except for this intervention.
Hmm. Okay. Of
Hmm.
course. How might extremist groups exploit the presence of foreign troops for propaganda or recruitment purposes?
So is that question for me?
Yes. The
Yeah.
question is for you. How might the extremist groups, exploit the presence of foreign troops in Nigeria? That's what happened in Iraq at one point in time when U.S. troops were there. Extremist groups took advantage of that for propaganda purpose. So, don't you think that these non-state actors would use this as a propaganda purpose for their
Yes.
recruitment?
Already they are doing that. They're already doing that. Just for the singular fact that this intervention is coming because of the outcry of Christian genocide. The Muslims are feeling at unease with it. But following some of the Muslims out now, especially in the far north, some of them are coming to town with the positive side to this intervention. And like I told you, people who are recruited into terrorist organizations, especially Islamic fundamentalism, they are done based on religious belief. Now they can begin to twist their mindset and tell them that, oh, we told you that the US are against us. They are against Islam. They are against Islam. So they can use the umbrella of religious insensitivity from the US government to push their evil ideological recruitment. And our leaders, even some notable Islamic leaders, are buying into this. They are not even spearheading it. Going everywhere to say. So their followers, some that have this natural hatred for the US, with, oh, this is a holy jihad. US is against Islam. So let's go and join this force to make sure we establish whatever US are planning. It will happen. But one of the major reasons why this insecurity has not been taken in this country is because of the unusual freedom that our religious preacher have. It's too much. They go about, the guy even say death to America in the mosque and nothing happens. Death to US, to UK, nothing happens. It has now become a slogan. People are taught hate right from their childhood. And as they are growing, that hate continues to nurture. So when they grow and they feel like this thing is going to be against our faith, there is no propensity that they will rise up to counter it. But to me, that is insignificant. I've seen clearly the result, the political result of our president this time around. The man is ready to end this once and for all. He wants peace to restore to this country. I told somebody one time, I said, if insecurity is still in this country, the first beneficiary of it will be the political leaders. It should be them. Because the money they are now using to combat insecurity will be swollen by them. They will know how to share it to steal more. But now they are forced to give that money to the military, which is not yielding any positive fruit.
Yeah, true.
So I think that it will come, but Nigeria will surmount it.
All right. Please, there's a question I want to ask. Are you with me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay.
How we do?
We were made to understand that the troops came here to, assist us in terms of, training. If I'm correct, but they are not going to get involved in combating. Don't you think that is not enough? Don't you think they should also extend, because combating, if you train the same people who also suffers, sabotage, what benefit would that training be to us? Because I think the US, I'm of the opinion, I don't know, it's a question. So what do you think? Don't you think the US should take it further from training to also join us in combating, so we can get, a very good records in this whole thing? Because I believe if you train me and at the end of the day somebody is sabotaging me somewhere, it will still go back to square one.
Yes. So,
so what do you make of that, sir?
Yeah, the question is, don't you think that it should go beyond just training?
Well.
Yeah.
I understand very well.
Yeah.
I think this intervention has to come in stages. US doesn't just step into any country to start bombardments of terrorists, just something like that. It has to come in stages. This is the first stage. The first stage before now was the talking stage. We were just talking and talking and talking. Those things were meant to, it's a diplomatic step to correct the anomaly. If the killing had stopped, do you think that the US troops would have come? No, they wouldn't be doing for that. They were just engaged in diplomatic talk, keep your people safe, make sure the killing stops. But because of the inability to stop it, even though the government wanted it stopped, they can't do that. Because this is an ideological war. It is rooted in a religious extremism. So it's not easy to stop. It's difficult to stop what comes from the mind. People killing have the conviction that they are killing for their God. If it were to be normal, nefarious act of stealing, it will stop overnight when you see a superior power. But it's more difficult when you see people who are willing to die and happy to die. That's the situation we have in this world. That's why it's very, very critical, very difficult, very, very difficult to combat. So this intervention, to me, will come in stages. We have left the talking stage. Now, even before declaring openly that they are coming with 200 troops, their tactical force have been around. And they have been around. Before even the first strike, the Christmas airstrike, I believe that US have been monitoring.
I was going there. I was going there to the Christmas airstrike.
So it will come in stages. Definitely they might come in time. If this stage fails, this capacity building and sharing of intelligence fails, the next phase will be openly to come, which I believe might not even happen, because our military, just the political will, like you stressed initially, if the political will is there, our boys can do wonders.
Of course.
They can do wonders. Remember the situation where the chief of defense staff, the current chief of Minister of Defense told the military openly that nobody needs additional order to fire when confronted by the enemies in what front. But the situation been before was, don't shoot. Even if the Fulani are coming to kill the people you are meant to protect, even if they are coming to kill you, don't shoot. Have you seen that kind of anomaly before? It's strange. So now I believe that any army that is deployed or security that is deployed to combat insecurity, they will do it without any resistance or any quarters. So that's the good aspect of it.
All right. Now
the saboteur can be fetched at the Nigeria to move forward.
Now, Stephen, our time is fast spent. Now, before we let you go, you come from the north central zone of the country. So, what's your take on the recent upsurge in kidnappings and of course killings in north central Nigeria? We had one recently in Kwara, just 48 hours ago. Kidnappings of passengers in Benue State, where you come from. In Plateau State, killings still continue. So, what's your take on this recent upsurge in criminal activities in north central Nigeria?
All right. It's a pure validation that North Central particularly is under siege. This time around, it's not the Boko Haram terrorists or the ISWAP. There may be few elements of some of these collaborative efforts that are already infiltrating the territory, collaborating with Fulani militias to carry out some of these dastardly acts. But I can tell you that the end to some of these things is very close. Really, really very close. It is regrettable that we woke up daily to news of killing. Are you aware that most of the acts of killing and even kidnapping these days are not reported? Because it's as casual as anything. Very casual as anything. The security situation in Nigeria has diverse roots. It has diverse remote causes. The one in North Central is different from what's happening in Northeast and Northwest. What is happening in Southeast and South and Southwest is different entirely. But the situation of North Central is a quest to grab land. Categorically a quest to grab land by the Fulani militias. And they do this through intimidation, through killing, and through harassment and raping, so that people will succumb. Our bushes, North Central bushes, is totally taken over by these guys. And you know the funny aspect of it, they use the cover of cow to carry out this. So they don't kill to run. That's why it's difficult. They kill to stay. Have you seen a situation where more than 200 people will be killed in Yelewata? And within the surrounding of Yelewata, they were still Fulani people seen the following day. And they never ran away and nobody arrested them. Nobody arrested them. It was after the public outcry that they started tracing, I don't know, that they picked few persons. But according to the story, more than 200 people invaded that community and killed. As we speak right now, there are bushes in Benue State that nobody goes to. It is a military zone, a military stronghold of the terrorists, Fulani terrorists. In people's house, they cannot go to farm, but it's normal, it's casual. The GSS have this report, the police have this report, the military have this report, but there has been nothing, absolutely nothing about it. How do you allow group of people under the guise of rearing cattle to kill human beings? And it will continue on a pace and nobody talks about it. I think we have gone back to the Stone Age, where life is very dastardly, and it shouldn't happen.
All right.
The value of human life is degraded daily, especially in North Central. The killing in North Central at times outnumbered what you have in the South, in Northeast and Northwest combined in some of the cases. Because if they are striking in North Central, you hear 200 killed, 300 killed, and all manner of numbers.
All right. Thank you very much, Stephen Alechenu, for your incisive analysis this morning on the P&B Morning Show.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
I really appreciate you joining us this morning.